Welcome back to Mommy Hates Cooking. Today I'm going to take a break from the Ninja Foodie and show you how to make this easy carrot cake. It can be done gluten-free or regular, it's totally up to you. But let's get started. First, let's get our cake ingredients. You're going to need 1.5 cups of granulated sugar, 1 cup of oil, 2.5 tablespoons hot water, 3 eggs, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1.5 cups flour or gluten-free all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, pinch of salt, 1 cup of grated carrots, and walnuts. Go ahead and get your oven preheating at 350 degrees, then start adding in the ingredients in order as we walk through the steps. So at this point, you should have sugar, oil, hot water, eggs, baking soda, flour, either gluten-free or regular, cinnamon, baking powder, nutmeg, and a pinch of salt all in your mixer, mixing up. Remember, this is not going to be like a pourable, watery batter. It's going to be kind of consistent to bread, so you're going to be spreading it into the pan. You need to have at least 1 cup of grated carrots. It's best to go ahead and grate regular whole carrots for this. It only takes about 1 to get 1 cup of grated carrots. Of course, for us, this is the only way I can get my son to actually eat carrots, which, is when they're covered in sugar and in a cake. But I guess I'll take it. Lastly, you're going to fold in the walnuts. So use about 1 cup of walnuts. They need to be crushed up and fold those in. Now here are some important steps. First, you need to be sure you spray the pan well. I mean really coat this well. You can either use your own baking spray or the one of your choice, or you can use parchment paper and baking spray. You're going to use 2 8-inch cake pans that are round, and then you're going to spread the batter into the pans. So let's recap this for a minute. First, you need to have preheated your oven to 350 degrees. You mix in the cake ingredients, folding in the walnuts, and then you're spreading it into greased, round 8-inch baking pans, 2 of them. Now it's time to bake the cakes. We're going to bake them for 35 minutes, and while they're in the oven, we'll get started on the frosting. So this is what you're going to need for the frosting. Keep in mind, if you want to do a crumb coat and a final coat, then you need to double this recipe. So for just 1 set of frosting, you're going to need 1 stick of unsalted butter and 1 8-ounce package of cream cheese, both softened. Then you're going to need a teaspoon of vanilla extract, 3.5 cups powdered sugar, and 1/2 cup of walnuts. Cream together the butter and the cream cheese with the vanilla extract, then add in the powdered sugar. So recapping this, you're adding in the frosting ingredients in order: the butter, cream cheese, vanilla, and powdered sugar. Then you're going to add in the walnuts last. Now, if you want this to be a crumb coat, which is what I usually do, then you need to make this double. So you're going to redo the frosting twice or double what you're doing. That way you can have a crumb coat and a final coat. Mix it together to form that nice cream cheese frosting. Now it's time to frost the cake. First, you need to let it cool for about 5 minutes, then carefully release it from the pan. And then let it cool for another hour on a cooling rack. Once it's cooled, you'll place 1 cake on the bottom, frosting in the middle, and then the other one on top, so that you have a 2-tier cake. Now you're going to frost the entire cake. If you prefer, this can be the crumb coat. That's my personal preference. So I go ahead and use the icing or frosting to coat the cake. Once it's frosted, you let the cake chill in the fridge for about an hour. Then you're going to add another coat of frosting. The pictures you see here have 2 coats, which gives it a nice smooth look. Once you're done frosting it, you can leave it in the fridge if you want to get it nice and cool, or just go ahead and serve it. It's ready to go. This carrot cake was actually a recipe passed down to me from my great-great-aunt. So it was actually a recipe that came about somewhere in the 1940s to 50s. I'm sure it may have been earlier than that, but that's when my aunt wrote it down. So it's definitely one that's been passed down through generations, and I'm sure you're going to enjoy it too. I hope you enjoyed this easy carrot cake recipe that can also be made gluten-free. Remember, I'm sharing recipes all throughout the week at mommyhatescooking.com. As always, be sure to like and subscribe this video, and I'll be sharing more again soon. Thank you so much for joining in today on Mommy Hates Cooking.